Hey guys, I am Soumya Prasad from KL University, currently pursuing my BTech honors in CSC. In this video, I'll be demonstrating a JavaEE application which I've built as part of my project in Enterprise Programming course. The web application is based on a business domain called Courier Management System. A brief introduction about Courier Management System is, let's say you have a friend in Hyderabad, you have to send him a parcel. So how do you do that? You go to the courier center. You give your parcel to the branch worker. He then measures your parcel and checks its height, weight, width, and asks you how much does it actually value. Then he asks you for your address and the address you want to send the parcel to, your email address and your phone number, and then he just places the order. You get a tracking ID and you return from that place. So you from the comfort of your home can check the status of your parcel, if it is in shipping, if it has delivered or not, just by using your tracking ID. This is how normally it works. So in this domain, I have identified three entities or important roles in the domain. One is the super admin, next is the branch operator, and very obviously the customer. So the super admin is above all the users. Super admin can add a new branch to the web application. The super admin can add a new branch operator to the web application. A super admin can define a route. So let's say I have an branch at location A, I have a branch at location B. How much time does it take? How many days does it take for a parcel to reach from location A to location B? How much money is being spent and all that. Next thing is the super admin has a dashboard. He can see all the transactions on all the orders that are being placed. Next is the branch operator. He solely has the power to insert a new order or edit a ongoing order. All right. So he can just place an order and edit the status of an order. That's it. A customer merely just gets a tracking ID that he can use to track his order. All right. So without wasting any time, let's just go to the web application now. This is the web application. It is it is very it has a very friendly UI. It's very simple to use. So assuming now I am a branch operator, let's start using this application. So as a branch operator, I need to have some credentials to log into the web applications. So let's hit the login button. Let me log in using the credentials. Yeah, so I'm into the system. So as you can see here, I can place an order, I can view all the existing orders, I can update an order, I can delete an order, I can track the status of an order, and I can log out from this account. So let's assume a situation that I have a customer in front of me. He wants me to place his order. Okay, let's start placing an order. Right. So let's say the length of the order is 8 centimeter, 5 centimeter in height, width say will be 3 centimeter, weight let's say 50 grams, and value is okay 30 rupees. So now he wants to send the order from Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad. Okay, Now address, just choose any address here. 1A Lakeview Apartments, and let's say this is 510B, something like, yeah. Alright, this is the receiver address, sender address, and let's give me my email and a phone number. I won't give the phone number entirely. Okay. So as I save this order, this happens. Alright, so the customer now is provided with a order ID. He can use this ID to track the order. Now you can see an amount has also been generated. This amount is to be paid by the customer to the branch operator for the transaction to be complete. A product ID is also being generated. I'll talk about this in a while. Alright. So yeah, since I have generated a order right now, let's see what the status of this order is right now. Yeah, get details. Yeah. So the order ID is as seen. It was placed from Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad. It was ordered today. The date is for today. Status is to be dispatched. So by default, the status when you place an order is to be dispatched. And the order right now is at Visakhapatnam, obviously. So because he gave the order at Visakhapatnam, right now it is by default at Visakhapatnam. It was last updated on this date. All right. Yeah. So let's let's say that I have started shipping that order. Then I will change the status of the order to shipped. Now where is the order at? The order is still at Visakhapatnam, but it is shipped. Let's update it. Okay. Status updated successfully. All right. Now let me track this again. Now you see that the last updated, there is a time called 7:24. So the latest updated date and time is being recorded, and the status has also been changed. All right. So to complete an order, let's say this item has delivered it's delivered at Hyderabad. All right. Let's updated, get details. It has been delivered. It was last modified on 7:25 and today. All right. The branch operator can view all the orders from here. He has this big table, and he can merely delete that any order. Let's say the order that I created. Let's try deleting it. I'll hit the delete button, and it is deleted. All right. Now, let me just pick any random order. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay, fine. I'm logging out from the branch operator console. All right. Now, as a customer, I only have one tracking ID. I just need one tracking ID to get the status of my order. I do not need to log into anything. I do not have to do any complex things. I just need a tracking ID. I'll I'll search it. I'll get the status of my order. All right. So a customer can directly go to tracking link in this web application. He hits the tracking button. He gets redirected here, pastes his order ID, gets order details. So you can see these are the order details of that specific order ID. Alright. Now the customer part and the branch operator part is done. Now let's see what's happening in the admin part. So this is the admin console. You have to first get the credentials for the admin. Since I have it, I will log into it. Now There are total 8 branches, 2 branch operators, 8 routes, 31 orders as of now, and 5 orders that have been delivered. Alright, so to check that this is actually dynamic, let's do one thing. Okay, let me log into the branch operator credentials again, and yeah, update order. I have copied an order. Let's change it to delivered. Yeah, it is 5 right now. Update, updated. It is now 6, as you can see, because the total number of orders that have been delivered is 6 now. So total amount is also the amount that was generated at the end of the bill. It is aggregated as a sum function. Alright. As I previously discussed, an admin can add branches, can add routes, can add branch operators, can view branches, view branch operators, view routes, and update routes. Alright. So I have implemented this small functionality that an admin can only define route between branches that are already defined in the branch table. Yeah. So these are the branches that are available. So an admin can only define routes to the branches that are already available in the branch records, not for any not for any branch that is not available on the DB. So these are the branches, these are the routes, and I have also given an functionality to update on routes, so you can just go and delete a route. So let's say I have to delete this BBSR to VSKP route. Just hit the delete button and it gets deleted. That's it. As simple as that. All right. I have I'm done with demonstrating how all this works in the web application. Now let's go into the coding part where all of this has been done, right? Yeah. So the main part I would like to discuss here is the how do we place an order part. Yeah. So this is the page, right? Yeah. So this is a .xhtml file, and when rendered, it becomes a .jsf file, as you can see here. When rendered, it becomes a .jsf file. Yeah. So as you can see, yeah, dimensions, length, height, width, and all this we have taken from the by using a form h form in XHTML. This is not usual HTML. This is a combination of certain things. Yeah. So let me start explaining this. The value that you enter in the front end over here gets saved in a ordbean.prolength. Okay, this thing is a managed bean, ordbean. Let me show that. Yeah. The managed bean. This is the managed bean and orders. This is the Pojo class, plain old Java object. So over here I have all the attributes that the order table needs, and if you remember, after saving this details, we also used to get a product ID. So I have not directly attached all the properties of a product to the order ID, because then the schema of order itself becomes very large. So I have separated it to another class called product. It has all the fields called product ID, product weight, product height, width, length. So this product ID will be referred in the orders field. As you can see here, this product ID will be referred. Alright. This is the Pojo class, where I have defined this Pojo class as an entity, and define this as the table. So if I do not mention this as a table, then it will just take the name of the class orders as the table name. But I would like to name the class as order underscore table, so I used the @table annotation. I have used the @id annotation for the order ID, and similarly there are @column for you can specify @column at column annotation for each and every attribute that you want to specify. Alright, so very simply there is order ID, order amount, and all those details that the order schema has, and there are getter setters in this Puzo class. That's it in this, and then we have um, order bean, yeah. So order bean, the name of this bean is ord bean. So as you can see, I mentioned here ord bean dot pro length, which means product length. Yeah. There are numerous fields, numerous variables, getter setter methods, and all those in this. I'll try to very explain this very simply. Okay. So order ID, amount, status, and these all have been defined. We have getter setter methods for all of them. All right. So let me show you how an order actually is getting placed. So we have an insert ord method for it. Yes. So if you noticed in the web application, I never mentioned any order ID. It got randomly generated between these two figures. It got randomly generated between these two figures, and I did not mention any product ID. It got randomly generated between these two figures. Then I I never mentioned any date anywhere. I never mentioned any time anywhere. But still it was able to retrieve the current time and date from the system and insert it into the order ID order table. So this thing over here is a method uh, that returns an object, a route object, and we just pass the order from place and order to place. We pass where the where the order has come from and where the order has to go. So then it returns the uh, object of route. So uh, okay, route which has an information like route dot get route distance, route dot get route estimated days. So if you remember actually in the admin home in the view routes, I have described this. I have mentioned this like from Vijayawada to Jaipur, it will be 450 kilometers, and the estimated time of delivery will be 1 day. So after I save this information in these two variables, I then implement a logic. Okay, if the estimated time to deliver is greater than 3 days, it will be 144 rupees. If it is greater than 1 day, it will be 108 rupees. If it is exactly 1 day, it is 96 rupees, or otherwise it is 198 rupees. So when you insert an order, by default the state was getting updated to be dispatched, because here I have written this. So you can see that orders ord is equal to new orders has calls a new object in the orders class. We then set all the attributes by setter methods. We pass those variables that we fetched from the front end. So if you notice, ordbean.proHeight, pro-width, pro-weight, odd value, order from place, order to place, and all this information is captured and sent to the managed bin, and from the managed bin we then retrieve those information and pass it to the orders class. All this information getting gathered over here and getting inserted. How is this thing getting inserted into the DB? Let me explain that. Now first, we are using JPA, Java Persistence API, for this, and the database we are using is MySQL version 8. So now let's all these things. So there is also a product class. We set the product values into it, and we send the product information to the product service class for service implementations. Let me show you how all this actually works. This thing is an instance of an also yeah order service. Now order service is an 1 minute. Order service is an interface. Now let's go into the interface. So you can see there is a method insert order. So now if I go to the implementation of this interface here, so we are receiving an order object, we are establishing JPA connection. So we have to set your JPA database data source as non-XJD, non-JDA type, and then choose MySQL and test your data connections. You then start your transaction dot begin, then use the dot persist method, which just inserts the data. This inserts this order record into the table. Get transaction dot commit. Without the commit function, you cannot, like, if you skip this line, it will not get reflected in the database. Then we close the connection and we return what's been inserted into the database. So this string is been returned from here. This string is then received as a response. Now this response is shown to the customer and the branch operator. So ordbean.response. Now let me show you the MySQL database. Here all those information that I showed you on the web application, it's stored in this database. Everything. Now we are done with demonstrating how I implemented .xhtml or let's say .jsf using managed beans and Bojo class and JPA. Now I'm going to demonstrate how I've also used servlets and JSP. So as you can see, the branch operator login part is being implemented in servlets. This is the front end. Let's see how the code looks like in JSP. This is the entire JSP page, and this is a form tag in this JSP page. In the form tag, we have two input fields, the branch operator ID, the branch operator password, and then you hit the button login, so it gets submitted, right? So in this form tag, we have an action is equal to check branch operator. So this thing is in the branch operator logging servlet. So you can see at the web servlet annotation, it's defined to /check branch operator. So since we have used the @web servlet annotation here, we are not going to use it in the web.xml. Now over here, the EJB lookup is set to Courier Service slash branch operator service implementation branch operator service. All right, I'll show how that looks like. Let me finish this part. So we received uh, two parameters from the front end, that is ID and the password of the branch operator. We store them in two fields called uname and pwd, the username and the password. We send those parameters to another method in the branch operator service, which has a method called branch operator login. Let's see how this looks like. So in this interface we have three methods totally, and branch operator login has two parameters, branch operator ID and branch operator password, which we have passed into the uh, passed in the previous one. So if I open the implementation of this thing, you can see that I have used JPA over here, and we have used entity manager factory entity manager. So we start the transaction, we use the query, select branch operator from branch operator BOP, where branch operator ID and branch operator password will be uh, positional parameters. We then set the positional parameters using the dot set parameter methods. We then check if there is a record actually, or if there is no record. If if there are only exactly one record in the DB which corresponds to these uh, parameters that we passed into this, we will return the branch operator record, and we will store this in the BOP reference of the branch operator class. If the branch operator is found to be null, if the record of the branch operator is of the type null, we'll redirect to the same page. If it is not null, we'll redirect it to the branch operator home. If it is null, we'll just print that login has been failed because you had entered the wrong credentials. So I have shown you both of these implementations. I hope you have liked this. So yeah, I'll take a leave from here. Thank you.